Hey guys, it is G here. It's spring break in Italy and we are at the sea. So I'm at the beach with one of my kids. I am not a beach person despite the fact that somehow I end up at the sea on a regular basis. But today I was having a conversation with someone this week that inspired a question in me. Do black women settle when they decide to date out? Guys, subscribe to my channel and let's have a little chat. All right, it's quite windy here at the beach. We are actually still up north. It's not so hot here. I think if we had gone south that it would be warmer. But check out my kid. He's made friends. Where is he? I don't know where he is. Not those people. Oh, he's back there. Oh no, you can kind of see back there. Anyway, he's made some friends and I'm just trying to hang out here. Wait for him. I was talking to a friend of mine and we were having, I don't know, I guess a little bit of a disagreement about the status of some people that we've met, encountered along the ways, some black women. And part of the thing, you know, in black women becoming more open to dating outside of their ethnicity, outside of black community, is the type of men that they date. I feel like on the internet, we see kind of like this extreme where we see a lot of black women who seem to have like wealthy men, specifically usually white men, right? Wealthy white men, they're on yachts, they're doing all this shopping, but we all know like that's not the average reality of most people and most people dating regardless. So sometimes when I talk to women, American women, not even just black women, but American women who move abroad, come abroad, have met men abroad, sometimes these men are not men that they would date if they were in the States. They would not date these dudes if they were American, right? So it's curious to me, like, the standards that some American women have get more relaxed. Now, if we want to talk about like Europe, the average salaries here are really low. You're not going to meet a lot of six-figure dudes in Italy, let alone in Europe in general. The average salaries usually range between 8 to 1,200 euros a month. So you're not buying, you know, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, you're not buying that on those salaries. And generally speaking, when you start meeting men here, a lot of times these guys will stay, if they're not still, especially in Italy, if they are not still at home with their parents, they usually have roommates. Like when I tell people that my partner had already had his own place, he had his own property or whatever, people were really surprised. They were just like, oh, you have one that wasn't a mamone, a mama's boy, who is basically at home still in their 30s and 40s. Because sometimes it's because of financial situations, sometimes it's because, especially here in Italy, the men just don't leave home unless they're married. So they really are looking for that mama to replace the one that they're at home. What's wrong? So yeah, anyway, I'm talking to this friend of mine and we were just having, I guess, a difference of opinion because I was pointing out to her how some of these women are living, or there are even some women who are financially supporting men, not just black women, but women from the States or wherever, financially supporting men in exchange for, I don't know, I guess love, I don't know. Anyway, my friend was telling me that from her perspective, and she's not one of these women, the woman I was talking to, from her perspective, that there are women who just really want to be loved, and they are not able to find that in the United States for a variety of reasons. Either they fall outside of like the ideal beauty standard, or they find men who are not only financially in need, but they're emotionally unavailable, or they are cheaters regardless of all of the challenges that it might be to be with them, and they don't have the same level of emotional or love in general. So it's interesting because I saw this woman on TikTok, this white woman, who was talking about men in Italy and how, you know, they invite you out for a date, they make a plan, you know, execute said plan, pay for dinner, whatever, and you feel safe with them. Less women are feeling safe with men in the United States. And that's not to say that all Italian men are safe, because in reality, there's a pretty high rate of domestic violence. Like 1 in 3 women, Italian women, have experienced domestic violence or sexual assault during their lifetime, right? So that's pretty high. It's not a very low rate, in my opinion. So I think that, you know, like, there are the potential dangers, the same potential dangers in the United States are here that are in the United States in regards to women's safety. So why is it then? Because my friend's point of view was that these women actually are feeling loved, and that is more valuable than the finances, than, you know, him being, you know, as established as they might want someone to be. But they would not do this in the US. So are men in the US like simply less emotionally available, providing less emotional support for women, and despite all of the expectations that they might have, the women still feel better, even if they are financially supporting someone or contributing a larger amount of their income. They feel safer in the relationships, they feel safer with the men, they feel safer with the families. It was really interesting to me because I feel like, and I was saying to her that I was not ready or willing to sacrifice certain aspects of things just to have a man around. Yeah, I just find it interesting. So I was telling her that I didn't see myself able to make that level of sacrifice just to have a partner, to have a man, you know. Like, I also feel like coming to a foreign country and supporting a man financially is something like I couldn't do. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around it. You know, even when I was when I was married to the French guy, I think that because when I was in the States, I made a, you know, significant amount of money in corporate America, and I think that he expected when we came here that I was going to be like doing the same things in regards to work and everything. And it wasn't like I was unwilling to work, but I felt like, I'm in your country, you take the lead, dude. I am not, I was like willing to get like a part-time job. I'm like, what have you been doing? Because when we were in the States, yes, darling. Did you make a volcano?
Yes.
Here, let's show your volcano. Can you show your volcano? He made a volcano. I think that when, you know, I got to France And I mean, I was pretty straightforward to him. Like, I'm gonna like relax a little bit. You know, like I had already been through so many things, leaving my transition, and I was not willing to do the same things I would do in the United States abroad. I just wasn't. And I still don't think I am. I think that now, like even in Italy, I think that if I tried to even work a small job, I'd be miserable, just because of the social status thing here, class thing, racism. Like I wouldn't want to work here for a multitude of reasons. I would never make the amount of money that I made in the US, not even close. And I don't care what anyone says, like, to live comfortably here, you do need to make a decent amount of money. And I know that as a foreigner, it would be difficult for me, even if I spoke fluent Italian. I mean, at the moment, my Italian's probably intermediate, but going through the process, and there's oh my God, the amount of sexism that I hear women deal with. There's not a lot of protections working here in Italy for women in regards to like sexism and sexual harassment and things like that. I have a friend who is a doctor, and a black doctor, and was sexually harassed constantly. And when she complained, they told her, we do it to the white women, so you should be even more accepting of it. And it was insane. I'd be in jail. So I'm not trying to do any of those things. I mean, I am working towards building something for myself, which I've always been doing, you know, but that's a whole nother topic. I do think that for me, like listening to some of the stories from women, it makes me sad that, and they don't feel like they're lowering their standards, okay? I just want to say, I don't think that these women feel like they've lowered their standards simply because they feel loved. And apparently that is so much greater than finances and all of those things. The security that they feel in these relationships is what has made the biggest difference for them and made them willing to make these sacrifices. And I think in the States, like, there are men who are fine with being a stay-at-home dad or stay-at-home father and blah blah blah, but I don't think that they trust them. I think that culturally, a lot more European men, even if they're not as financially stable, are more family oriented. Although I have to say, in Italy, the infidelity rates are pretty high among men and women. So it's hard for me sometimes. I'm like, but they still cheat. I don't know. Like, there must be some really good feelings when they're at home. Because I'm just like, I can't wrap my mind around it. Oh, did you make a road and a volcano? Usually we have the smaller one with us on our walks. Now we have the big one at the beach. What am I gonna do?
I need to wash my hands.
Okay, just don't go all the way in the water. So, I don't know. Like, I'm still kind of like trying to... Artist, your pants! I think I'm still trying to wrap my head around the reality of that because... And I mean, I know some people who are doing just fine in respect to their relationship, that they have partners who are financially stable and secure and things like that. I like to think that I'm one of those people, but I feel like there are some women that have just changed their standards because they feel more, I guess, secure, loved, taken care of, wanted. I think being wanted is a big part of it as well. And I think especially for Black women, some of the women that I have met here fall further outside of the beauty standard. They're darker skinned, they maybe are heavier, and they feel like men in the United States don't only want them to sacrifice, I guess, financially, but sacrifice more of who they are than they are willing to sacrifice in exchange to having a man around. And I don't know if this is because they've exclusively focused more, it's easier to focus more on black men, and I'm talking about black women, black men in the US versus going outside of that idea in the States with white American men. I mean, I think that could also be a boundary for some people, that they feel a certain way about white American men, that they don't necessarily want to involve themselves with that. But European men, Latin men, you know, like those other groups of men outside of the United States make them feel better. Wow, that's an interesting architecture. Make them feel better. And I don't know, I would say what I see in these women, even the ones that I feel like are sacrificing certain aspects of their financial well-being, they feel extremely loved, and they feel, I guess, secure in those relationships, and that seems to be enough. So I do feel like it's interesting, so many men are like, women are gold diggers, or they just want men for their money. But I see women willing to make adjustments to those expectations when they can trust someone. So guys, I don't know, I would love to hear your thoughts. Let's meet in the comments and have a chat. But for now, I guess I gotta go play on the beach. I'm not gonna play on the beach. I hate the sand. I hate the sand. This is like my worst nightmare right now. Like, my partner is left. He took the other one with him because the other one also was like, I don't want to be on the beach. But somehow I'm still down here. Anyway, guys, subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And for now, ciao, ciao.